Hello fellow compounders, welcome back. Today we're going on an adventure to understand compounding, the secret sauce to becoming wealthy. We'll look at some amazing stories of people who used this secret to get very rich. We'll go through the steps to start compounding and the mistakes to avoid. So let's get started. This video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor and you are responsible for your own financial decisions. First, let's talk about my favorite investor of all times, Warren Buffett. Believe it or not, he began investing when he was just 11 years old. He wasn't just any kid, he was a smart one with a knack for picking the right companies to invest in. Buffett chose businesses that he understood, that had a competitive advantage, were managed by honest and capable people, and that he could buy at a good price. One of his biggest successes was a company known or named Berkshire Hathaway. It was a struggling textile manufacturer at first, but Buffett saw something special in it. He didn't just buy a few shares. He turned it into a giant company, holding company that owns parts of many different businesses. Imagine turning a small tree into a huge forest. That's kind of what he did with his investments. Buffett planned to buy stocks and hold them for a really long time. He focused on companies that would pay him dividends, which is like getting extra money for just owning the stocks. He picked famous ones like Coca-Cola and Apple. And by the way, here's a fun fact. If you had bought just one stock in Berkshire Hathaway when Buffett started buying in 1962, it would have cost you $7.50. Now, that same stock is worth a whopping $540,000. That's like turning a tiny pebble into a mountain of gold. What can we learn from Warren Buffett? First, starting early can be a huge advantage. Even if you're young, you can think about ways to save and grow money. Second, patience pays off. Buffett didn't make his billions overnight. He waited sometimes for many years to see his investments grow. And lastly, it's not just about making money quickly. It's about making smart choices that grow over time. Buffett once said, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." That means if you take good actions now, like saving and investing wisely, you'll enjoy the benefits later, just like planting a tree and waiting for it to grow big enough to give you shade. Now let's talk about compounding, the superpower behind Buffett's success. Compounding is when you make money from your investments, and then that money makes more money. Imagine a snowball rolling down the hill, getting bigger and bigger. That's what happens when your money is compounding. Let's say you have $1,000 to invest in a stock. If that stock grows 10% in 1 year, your $1,000 becomes $1,100. The next year, you're not just growing the original 1,000, you're growing the whole 1,100. So now, at 10%, that 1,100 turns into $1,210. So year after year, your money keeps growing, not just from your initial investment, but from all the growth it's been doing. It's like a magic trick where your money multiplies. Next up is the story of Ronald Read, a guy who proves that you don't have to be rich to make more money. Ronald was a janitor, a person who cleans and takes care of buildings. He lived a simple life in a small town in Vermont, but Ronald had a secret. He was using compounding to build a fortune, piece by piece. Ronald made smart choices. He didn't chase after the newest or coolest stocks. Instead, he picked companies that were steady and paid dividends, like Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble. Think of it like planting a garden with seeds that are sure to grow, not the ones that just look fancy. His strategy was simple but powerful. He would invest in these reliable companies, and when they paid dividends, he didn't spend that money. He reinvested it to buy more shares. This is like if you got extra seeds from your plants and used them to plant even more. Over time, Ronald's investments grew and grew, and when he passed away, people were shocked to find out that he had saved over $8 million. His story shows that with smart choices and patience, anyone can use compounding to build wealth. And lastly, let's talk about Benjamin Franklin, or Ben Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States and the founder of the University of Pennsylvania. He left a gift of 1,000 pounds, which is a type of money that was used back then, to two cities, Philadelphia and Boston. He had a special rule for this money, by the way. It had to be invested and couldn't be fully used until after 100 years and 200 years. His idea was to let the money grow over a very long time. Franklin's plan was like planting a tree and letting it grow for many years. He wanted the money to be used to help young people start their businesses. The interest from the money, like fruits from the tree, would help the fund grow even more. Guess what? The experiment worked. It worked amazingly well. After 100 years, each city's money had grown to over $100,000. And after 200 years, in 1991, Philadelphia's fund was more than $2 million, and Boston's was over $5 million. And Franklin's story tells us that when you let your savings grow over a very long time, they can turn into something much bigger than you might imagine. Now that we've seen how compounding works for others, let's talk about how you can use it too. It's not just for adults, even kids can start learning about it. Here are some simple steps to begin your journey with compounding. Number 1, start saving now. The first step is to start saving. It doesn't matter how small the amount. What's important is that you're consistent. Think of it like a piggy bank that you keep adding to little by little. Step 2, choose smart investments. Picking the right place to put your money is key. You could look into stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, or ETFs. Try to find investments that give you dividends or interest. These are the extra boosts that help with compounding. My favorite starter investment is a low-cost S&P 500 index fund like VOO or Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF. Number 3, reinvest your earnings. When you earn money from your investments like dividends, don't spend it. Instead, reinvest it. It means using that money to buy more stocks or other investments. It's like using the seeds from your fruit to grow even more plants. Number 4, diversify your investments. Don't put all your money in one place. Spread it out in different types of investments. This way, if one doesn't do well, you have others that might be doing better. It's like having different kinds of plants in your garden. Number 5, be patient and think long term. Compounding takes time. You won't see huge changes overnight. It's a long-term game, like waiting for a tree to grow big. Number 6, regularly review your investments. Every once in a while, check how your investments are doing. You might need to make some changes based on how things are going or based on your future goals. Number 7, increase your investments over time. As you get older and maybe start earning more, try to increase how much you're saving and investing. The more you can put in, the more you can potentially get out thanks to compounding. Number 8, stay disciplined. Keep focused on your long-term goals. It might be tempting to use your savings for something else, but remember, the longer you let your money compound, the more it can grow. One of the coolest things about compounding is that the earlier you start, the better. If you start saving and investing when you're young, even small amounts can grow into a lot over time. Let's take the example of 2 friends, Alex and Jordan. Alex starts saving $200 a month at age 25, and Jordan starts doing the same at age 35. Even if they save the same $200 each month and earn the same returns, let's say 7%, by the time they're both 65 years old, Alex would have $494,000 while Jordan would have $234,000. That's a difference of $260,000, a little more than $250,000. That extra 10 years makes a huge difference thanks to compounding. By the way, here's a simple hack to estimate your compounding efforts. Have you heard of the rule of 72? It's a simple way to estimate how long it will take for your money to double. Just divide 72 by the expected rate of return. For example, if your investment is growing at 8% per year, divide 72 by 8 and you get 9. That means that your money could double every 9 years. To make the best of compounding, try to avoid these mistakes. 1, don't withdraw your investments early. 2, always reinvest your dividends and interest. 3, avoid trading too often, as it can cost you in fees and taxes. 4, make sure to spread your investments across different types. And 5, review and adjust your investments to stay on track with your goals. Compounding is a powerful tool for building wealth, but it needs time, patience, and consistency. It's about making smart choices now that will pay off in the future. Whether you're saving a little from your allowance or starting a small business, the principles of compounding can help you grow your money. I hope you're inspired to start your own journey of growing wealth. Remember, the path to financial success is built step by step with each smart decision you make. Keep saving, keep investing, and watch your wealth grow. See you in the next video, and always be compounding. Take care.